Hello YouTube, I'm back again out in the workshop, and this video today is going to be the Traxxas Jato 3.3, and I am going to attempt to put it together. And I don't know how many part series this is going to be. I don't think I'm going to label it part 1, part 2, but not for sure yet. So we're going to go ahead and take off the body here. As you can tell, I'm going to lift you up a little bit to take you down in. And I better grab a pointer. Here is the sensor right there for the RPMs. And what I was talking about earlier in the past video about this spacer right here. See, they only gave you one, and you're supposed to use this here as another spacer for that RPM gauge. Well, I'm going to take that out, and that's the reason why I bought 2 more spacers. So we're going to put you back up here like this. Now we're going to go ahead and take that spacer out. I just have it sitting in there in between the chassis and the transmission. So I'm going to go ahead and unscrew these. See, here's that spacer, and here's this spacer which you're supposed to use. So it equals 2 spacers. I mean, it looks pretty cool as hell, but you know, it's all angled nice and everything, so it should be a direct fit. But nah, I don't want that. I want to kind of keep it simple. So what we're going to do is we're going to just take that out real quick. Okay. Yeah, that plastic mount comes with those steel spacers, bushings, whatever you want to call it, to go in between. And it goes into here in those holes like so, like that, to make it a little stronger. Alright, so we're going to put those aside for right now. We got the motor mount out. Put that aside. And now what we have to do is we got to take apart this right here, this cover. And we got to trace where this goes. Take out this exhaust that was just sitting in there. So we'll take off this clip. We'll go like that, and now here it comes. Alright, so we got to figure out which one it is. So it looks fairly simple to find. He twisted them together. So here is the RPM gauge coming out. Okay, there it is. Like I said, this thing is brand new. I just don't want to use it, put it that way. And now we are going to take off the temperature gauge, but it's also has a plug right here. Boy, that's weird. A lot of different plugs for that temperature gauge. So I just want to keep it simple. So there's that. That thing's brand new. Take that out. Now let's see what we got left over here. We should only have the battery, which should be this one right here. Yep, and the steering and the throttle and brake. Okay. So it looks like this receiver here, let's see if I can get you closer into this. This little receiver can occupy two 1-channel, which are the steering servos, like the Revo. That's what it looks like. This would work in that Revo, which I already have one. I just found it over there in the drawers. So yeah, we're gonna just go ahead and sit it back down. So now we have that taken care of. I have to get my glasses on to see, but I'm pretty sure we're set to go there. So we're going to tuck all that back in. Now it looks a little bit neater. And the charging port is not hooked up. There's no wire in this charging port right here, so we're not going to use it. Alright, and yeah, with this battery box in the back that we have to have because of this wheelie bar, I got to figure out a better way to route this battery here. I mean, that might be alright right there. Might be. See, when I had my old Jato, I bought it used, and it did not have the battery box in the back. I had the battery inside of here. But it looks like it'd be a lot easier. I don't know. I got that other battery charged right now. I'm trying to think here, should I or shouldn't I keep that? I don't know. Okay, well, we'll think about that. Let's see if we can get that motor working today. Well, at least installed. It's getting quite late here, but I just wanted to make this video real quick to show you that I have started working on it. So I'm going to go ahead and get the motor real quick. Alright, so here's the motor. And over here, and I have that clutch bell and clutch shoes and everything. So we're going to slide this truck over a little bit. Put this here and here. And I'm going to probably bring you closer like that, so you can see what I'm doing here. Take out this brand new motor. Boy, it's exciting. We got to take out this. I don't like this at all. I never did. See, that sits like that in the truck. Yep. Alright. So the exhaust, like I showed you in the previous video, that's on drop dead center. But what I like to do is take that gold plug out and put some 3-in-1 oil in there. Ooh, that's nice. That's brand new. Hit the washer. Then one thing I messed up in the past. Let me get a pair of tweezers or needle nose here. I don't know if you could see that beveled or not. This washer. See how it's beveled down? Okay, see, you're supposed to put the glow plug in like that. See, that was one of my major problems with that Revo break-in period, I had that flipped around. Like I said, my eyesight is not the greatest, and that it was the reason why there was smoke and stuff coming out of the top of this head. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and grab some 3-in-1 oil. Right there, this is very, very old. I don't know, it was from Ace Hardware, back in the good old days. So I'm going to go ahead and put a couple drops down in there. Just like that. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see down there or not. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it gently. Now if you can watch that piston, oh my god, it's rough pulling. Yeah, that thing is rough. I can't pull that. Oh, there we go. Just wasn't strong enough. Okay, so there's that piston. Oh yeah, that's why I don't like the pull start. We're going to put some more 3-in-1 down there to get it well lubed up for the break-in period. It's kind of hard to pull this and hold and aim at the camera. There we go. Perfect. Well, it's not bottom dead center yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop some 3-in-1 inside the exhaust port. Just a couple drops here. And we're going to pull it again. Boy, that's nice. Whew. Alright, so that makes me feel a lot better knowing that there is some 3-in-1. There's some lubrication in there. It's not going to be dry when we fire it up. Alright. So we're going to go ahead and put the glow plug back in. And now it'd be impossible to pull that thing. Alright. Yeah, the glow plug's back in. Alright, so the first things first, I'm going to go ahead and put the flywheel and everything on this. Oh, that's nice. I love it when everything's brand spanking new. Easy to work on when parts are clean. Alright. I already put this little black shim in here. See if I can push it back out. No. That's in there. That little, I don't know what you call that. But you gotta have that in before you put it down in. And what that does is it pushes up against that. Oh yeah, see, it's starting to grab already. There we go. Push that down. Oh yeah, see, she'll go. She should go on there. See, just like that. There it is. Yep. So that has to be on there. And then this will go on like that. So, next, let's go ahead and put the clutch shoes on. It already has the spring wrapped on already, which is a bonus, because that is pretty tough spring to hook together because it comes straight, and you have to put these two loops together on there, and it's kind of a tough thing to do. So what we're going to do is take this flywheel back off. I'm getting it all greasy. I gotta get a rag. Yeah, you don't want your clutch shoes to be all greasy. No way. I mean, eventually will wear off, but it'll be spinning like crazy in there. There, just like that. We'll push those down, and there's your two clutch shoes right on there. And you can see the little opening right there, right here, where you hook the two springs together. Alright, so we'll go ahead and slide that back on there like that. Keep pushing. There we go. Oh, there we go. We got that baby right on there. Alright. It came with another nut. This one was on the motor, so we'll use it. And now we have to go ahead and put the clutch shoes on. Just like that. Wait a minute. Did I forget to put that? Yes. Jeez. Okay. You got to put this on first. Yes, there you go. See? And then you tighten this up. That nut right there. Okay. And like I said, I've done this many times in the past. And it came out good, so go ahead and just tighten it up just a little bit. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Boy, she's tight. Alright. So now you put the clutch shoes on. There we go, just like that. And now you put your bell housing on. You always pop that bearing when you put it on. Put that bearing back in. This one comes with the washer and the little C-clip right here. You slide that on like so, and don't try to lose it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set that right there, get a pair of needle nose here and get it set, that C-clip. And we're going to lock it in place. Just like that. Now we got to push it in just a little bit more. There we go. Just like that. Oh boy, that is nice. Starting to look like a motor. It's almost ready to go in, but like I said, I got to take this off and put on electric start. So, get all this plastic bags out here. You're looking at a 2mm for these screws. This one has 4 screws on it. Usually pull starts do. Traxxas. And the electric start has 3. Yeah, hopefully this will be a good strong motor. Let's go ahead and pull this off real quick. Make sure all the screws will come out. Yep. Now when you take this off, okay, it does have oil in it, which is a good sign. It's been oiled. I mean, that could have been for me too, putting the 3-in-1 in there. Alright, now these one-way bearings, this one-way bearing right here, If you notice, there is no wording stamped on that at all around here. Then if you pull this off like that, you turn it around. Okay, this one does not have any wording on it, so it must be, huh, that's very, very odd. Alright, I guess I was going to tell you that there's usually stamping around here, and that's always towards the motor. This one didn't have that. That is strange. Oh, there it is. Like I said, I am so blind as a bat. Okay, you see around that silver, you see some stamping. That is the writing I was talking about. That is always towards the motor when you put these one-way bearings on. And if you don't do it that way, you will find out. It won't turn over the motor. Yeah, you'll be pulling, probably break something. Alright, so now I'm coming over here now, and I'm going to get, I have my easy start right here, and I should make sure these 4 screws are tight, holding on that plate, and that should be the 2.5. Oh yeah, they're tight. And you always go on the star pattern. Oh yeah, they're nice and snug. Alright. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take this motor and we're going to put it on. Okay, normally I have to do some adjusting with that throwout bearing to get it on there. Just like that. Now, see, you gotta pull it back off a little bit and turn it. There we go. Just like that. So we have it on there. And now we're going to go ahead and screw down the only 3 screws for this. Get everything lined up. Yeah, I dropped the electric start in the house, trying to carry everything out to the workshop. Oh boy, I hope everything's okay. Should be. And yes, you could use the drill, but nah, I recommend not, because these have to be lined up perfectly. You go that star pattern, and this one doesn't have the screws, so you just have to tighten it. And you're going to hear the neighbor kids again in the background. They're having tons of fun again. Alright, that should be tight enough. Oh yeah, she's tight. Alright guys, there it is. Looking pretty good. And one thing I did notice I should have taken care of before I put everything together is this right here, the throttle. Remember, it has to go in and out like this. So we got to turn this which way here? If we put it in this way, oh yeah, we got a lot of stuff to mess around with. See, I don't know about that wire. I might not have that in there. So we got to pull. Oh, wait a minute, that might be perfect for it. Now I'm looking at it. Yeah, because I could turn. Yeah, I'll show you what I'm doing. Right down in here. Right here is the throttle servo and brake. Here's the linkage for the throttle. So I'm wondering if I can keep that there and I'll just turn this up like that. And that should be perfect fit for that in and out. That should be good. Alright. So now we should put this motor mount in first. I don't know. This is all new to me. Could I slide that in there? Oh, probably. Alrighty. I'm going to pause it right here for a few seconds here. For you, it's going to feel like a few seconds. But it might take longer than that, because I got to figure out this cord, this wire here going into the battery box. Should I keep the battery in here, or should I put it in here and then eliminate this cord altogether? I don't know. We'll just have to see what it looks like. Alright, I'm going to pause it. Alright. Boy, that was a big task. Putting in this motor. I forget how tight that this car can be to work on. Okay? I have it in there, but there's a lot of things you got to remember to do that I totally forgot. Because it's been a couple of years, at least 2-3 years since I've had one of these cars. To put the motor in, you have to, let me get my pointer back out. 1, take off this skid plate thing. Take out this one screw right here, which will loosen up this that goes to the transmission housing. Next, loosen all of these screws here. You got not these two, because these two you're going to use to put the mount in, but the 6 screws right here you have to loosen up to kind of lift up that transmission so you can slide that underneath. And then once you get everything underneath, start tightening it back up, draw everything back together, and put all your bolts back in. So, I got the mesh pretty good, I do believe. Looks pretty good. I do not like the plastic gear. I will replace that eventually, but I'll wear it out first. That's if I wear it out first. But that, as far as I got, that took about a half an hour. And plus I had a lot of phone calls in between, and people I haven't talked to in a couple months, and alright. And now I wanted to tell you about that wire right here. What I did was I put it in between the carburetor and the block here, and it's not in the way. Then it goes underneath the electric starter and goes back in. Now I'm thinking, What's the first thing you think of when you have a wire, electrical wire, going to the motor, laying against the motor? Yeah, it's going to burn. So what I'm going to do later, much later, because it's getting kind of late now, as you see, I just pulled that wire right out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a heat shield from probably about a good 2-inch shield right here of heat shrink. Put a couple layers on there and then shove it down in there, and it should be just fine. And the reason why I'm going through all this for this wire is because I kind of like it having the battery back here, because when I had this car before, I did have the battery in here, and it's a pain in the butt to keep sliding it in there. And plus the battery is so tight in there, especially with all the wires included in that box. So that's the reason why I decided, yeah, I'm going to go the extra route. I'm going to put it in there and stuff. So yeah, but so far I don't have the linkage to the throttle yet on that ball, because I wanted to show you the wire. It's easier getting that wire out without that linkage hooked up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the correct way with this fuel line too, like you're supposed to. And yeah, I'm going to probably wrap it around there and it'll go right in. Cool. But alrighty guys, I'm going to end it here for today. And I'm just going to go ahead and start putting it back together again. You know, the electrical, I don't know if I have the right screws or not to hold that down, but they're going to work no matter what. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the header pipe on and the muffler, put all that on. So maybe I'll pause it right here and go ahead and do that. I'll be right back. Alright, here we are again. And that was about an hour and a half break between video takes. Just because of that linkage. You gotta make sure that linkage is correct on the throttle. There, I'm gonna bring you down here to show you what I'm talking about. Get the old pointer out. Alright. Right here. Make sure before you put the motor in to move this armature thing that hooks onto your throttle. Make sure that's straight out like this. So this linkage is nice and level with the truck. I had a heck of a time putting that on there because of you need a small Allen wrench, not a Torx, but an Allen wrench. It is really tiny. Oh, yeah, almost lost it. This here, I don't know the size. I might take it inside the house under a magnifying glass. Well, to do it the best way, I had to pull the motor back out and adjust it that way. It's a lot easier motor out a vehicle. Okay, so then I also did this here with the wiring. As you can see, I tripled heat shrunk with this heat tube, shrink tubes. This cord going all the way down. And you gotta watch out for that heat gun, because I just burned a little hole right here. Man, that sucks. But yeah, you got that temperature gun, a heat gun, boy, is amazing. It gets hot. So I got everything in there. And to get the motor back out with the easy start, you have to take off this handle right here. And make sure these trays on both sides are off. And then it'll come out. I was going to take the gas tank out, but that didn't work, and all kinds of stuff here. So we're going to flip this around. As you can tell, I got the header pipe on here, and I have the exhaust on, mounted correctly. I got the hose, the fuel line hose hooked up. My zip strips, they didn't come with, well, maybe they did, but I don't like how small they were. So I grabbed two of my big ones. So now, only thing is left now is to run this fuel line. You know how you have to loop it right here. You got to loop it around like so, and I think maybe twice. I don't know, I have to look at it again. But then after that, I have to put on the wiring harness right here. I just don't have time. It's 10 to 8 right now. I've been out in this workshop for an awful long time. Still daylight outside though, almost 8 o'clock at night. But I just want to wrap this one up and show you how far I got, which I think I did a lot of good progress here. The motor's in, wires are ran, except for the wiring harness for the Easy Start motor, which is a piece of cake to install. I just got to find the proper screws right here to hold this down. And again, I thought it came with the screws, but it did not. I think they said Traxxas part number is 2550. Yeah, we'll take a gander. I might have something laying around here. But alright guys, I had to head out. My daughter, my youngest, bought me a salad from McDonald's right here. My favorite. Right in there. I'm going to go inside and eat that and edit this video. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy the overall progress I'm making on this. She's getting there. Alright, talk to you later guys.